भैरवाय नमः। ॐ कालकालाय विद्महे कालातीताय धीमहि तन्नः कालभैरवः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ हिङ्गुळे परमहिङ्गुळे अमृतरूपिणी तनुशक्तिमनशिवे श्रीहिङ्गुळाय नमः। ॐ कामाख्यवरदे देवी नीलपर्वतवासिनी त्वं देवी जगतं मात्रं योनिमुद्रे नमोऽस्तुते। Namaskaram. Welcome to yet another video of our Ishtartha Guru Bhairava, where we will try to know about him one step closer as whatever we have known him in last minute before. This video is all about a guru. You may be wondering, what is that Guru Tattva? Guru Tattva is not actually being found in one particular person. There are two stories which today we are going to talk about, which is going to give you a very deep insight, like how exactly the Guru can be found in all the ways what we are in the mid of this particular Mrityuloka. Let me just take you through a first storyline, which is of the kingdom of Maithili. The kingdom of Maithili is actually like it's a kingdom of music and the pleasure there. The lamp flickers in the golden balconies. It was so beautiful, echoing like a distant temple. Bells were ringing, and that village, what we call it as the deepest night on that day, was one of the courtesan, that what we call it as courtesan by name Pingala, was the most celebrated courtesan on that particular age, on the particular city of Maithili. Entire village used to talk about Maithili whenever there was a night going to be drawn. Her beauty and the fame across the entire kingdom was almost spoken every day. Her voice, her dance, her charm, every king, all the surrounding kings of Maithili Rajya used to talk about her. The merchants, businessmen, the poets, Kalidasa, somewhat like a Kalidasa, people used to come to her courtesan, and being a courtesan, people used to come to her, talk about her, even about the kingdom, about the strategy, about the every aspects, seeking her company, because she was so brilliant and she was so contentful. Her beauty was so being spread across in all the Rajya of the Maithili. Everyone want to spend their night at her feet. Yet that night her face was pale and her ankles were silent. You may be wondering why. On that day actually, one of a Brahman came to her courtyard, and when he came to the courtyard, she asked, Gurudeva, why are you come to this place? If you have called me, I would have come to your place and actually have took your darshan. What made you to actually come to the court? The Brahmin was able to tell that, Pingala, as everyone desires for you, even I have that desire, the desire of the lust, which made me to come to your place and beg in front of you to please accept me and give me yourself. Immediately, she was able to tell him that she is going to charge 100 mudras, golden mudras. At that given point of time, whatever the barter system was there, it was about the transaction of the gold or the silver or the brass metals. She told that actually to the Brahmin, even who was not able to afford one gold coin, She was able to tell him that if you want to touch me, if you want to actually be with me as a partner for a night, as what the kings, merchants, as well as the poets, greatest poets of this Maithili Raja do, Maithili Rajyam they do. If you want to experience that particular night with me, you need to actually give me 100 Swarna Mudras. Swarna is actually gold. She was clearly able to tell, अगर आप मुझे छूना चाहते हो तो भी आपको 100 स्वर्ण मुद्रा देना पड़ेगा. The Brahmin was a bit worried. Second thought what it came is he got a rage. He thought that no, now I need to make sure that actually I am going to have her one day. He immediately told Pingala, मैं एक दिन आपको पाते ही रहूँगा, पाके ही रहूँगा, क्योंकि मेरा मन में अभी जो आकांक्षा उठी है कि आपको पाना है. A person who is not able to afford one golden mudra, one golden coin, he is actually taking a challenge to actually acquire 100 golden coins only to be one night with that female. That was a spike of the lust. That was a spike of the desire which made him to take that oath. Immediately after he telling this, he moved away and she went and she sat. She was wondering actually, like, why everyone are actually trying to come and be with me. But on the go, it happened in such a way. She was in love with someone, one of the poet. She was in love with one of a poet. That poet actually regularly used to come and meet her and used to give her the gold coins, the beautiful words, flowers, everything he used to do. And he used to talk very beautifully and connected to her, and she used to be so connected and she lost herself. And she even forgot that actually she was part of a courtesan. This being a courtesan, it is not only about courtesan is somewhat like actually they take care of the profile of even being as a prostitute. They also take care of the king's advisory, especially the mantris, kings, and even the different poets, the businessmen. Everyone used to come there and they used to talk about the business. And the place used to be somewhat like actually a space where everyone come and talk and take a suggestion from her. She used to be like a strategy head. She always used to wait for that poet come to her, talk to her, and make her feel much more loved. She forgot everything around her and her even the primary responsibility of whoever comes to. She always used to wait for that poet to come and actually be with her. The time whatever he would spend, the whatever the pleasure, whatever they had felt, she always used to feel to experience again and again and again. One day it happened that actually she was waiting for him to come. One of his dasa came and told into the courtesan yard, गुरुजी आज नहीं आएंगे और उनको आने के लिए देरी होगी अभी से. So she was being told that actually way forward the poet would come very late or may take some time. This struck her mind. This struck her mind in such a way that she felt that, oh, okay, every night I waited. Every night I waited for him. Many of them came and gone. But this person came with the flowers, golden words. But after so much of wait, I feel that none stay when the lamps gone off. You know that actually once the lamps off, there is a next desire of lust actually taken places in the courtesan. She being a prostitute, the next step used to be that they used to talk about all the strategies, and finally that used to be happened. And she used to think that none stay when the lamp gone off. Is this a love or this is just a business dressed as affections? What is happening between one particular person coming and actually going. And she also thought that whatever she had dressed up on that particular night, waiting for that poet, felt veil, feeling that आज मैं जो भी तैयार करके बैठी हूँ, किसके लिए वो आना ही नहीं चाहता है. He never wants to come to me. The night deepened her in such a way, it made her think 100 times. She rearranged her veils. She actually looked again and again, went to the door, thinking the poet would come that night. The sound of that footstep passes whenever someone passes through that particular courtyard. She used to go and see whether that particular poet has come and whether she is able to conclude or परिपूर्ण होना चाहती थी वो, because she was burning in that lust, she was burning on that love, and whatever she felt as that love for the poet, it was just a lust. And similarly for the Brahmin who had come to that particular courtyard, he also had a lust. Her heart was tightened at that situation. She felt that actually this is not what I am waiting for. Why I am waiting for a person who is only giving a flowers to me, some metals to me, and actually talking few words, and who is going away and who is not even thinking about me. Pingala was thinking, why has he not come tonight? Has my charm faded away? Or I offer devotion to the desire and the desire betrayed me. She was thinking that actually her desire towards him was so strong. Hours passed. She was looking upon her doors like actually the one or the other minute he will be able to come that night. She walked into the balconies and she also came outside. She removed all the ornaments. She was so furious that night. She removed all the ornaments. She came to the street. Below was empty and wind were blowing with the dusty and the corridors, and she was actually roaming around as a mad. You know that actually, if you agree with me, a person who is burning with a lust, so strongly will go mad. He will not even think what is happening in his current situation. जब भी एक आदमी को जब कामुका का संपूर्ण आवरण होता है ना, तब ऑटोमेटिकली और व्हाट वी कॉल इट एज लाइक, तब उसका जो भी नेक्स्ट स्टेप है उसको मालूम ही नहीं पड़ेगा कि क्या करना है. It was like actually inside on her altar, she was actually firing. She was burning from inside that actually the person is not coming, and she is not able to quench the desire of lust which was being seeded by that particular poet. जो भी वो कवि था, उसने जो भी एक्चुअली एक कामुका का एक बीज बोझा था, उसके लिए she was waiting that actually he would come that night and able to quench that. The fire of calm was actually burning in her. She was so furious. She was actually not able to. Her sakis, the people who were around her, came to her to console her, to talk about her. She was so furious. She has forgotten where she was. She actually was being taken back to the courtesan. She was able to take back to her palace, the prostitute palace, or whatever we call it as, the prostitute place. She was actually so furious on that night. Exactly, she was on, and she was so mad, and she was actually crying in that particular moment. She was so much depressed that actually the person who she was loved, who was looked for her desire, completion of her desire, for her lust, is not turned around that day. But she used to have one puja graha. In that puja graha, there was a small altar of Bhairava, Shiva, in a furious form. You know that actually, especially certain places where Kali used to stay, there used to be always a governor, and Bhairava, she had a small altar of Bhairava. a small lamp was been kept in front of him. She was crying softly in front of him, bowing her hand, that, O Paramatma, O Bhairava, is there any true in this, in your love? Why I am left like this? I loved that particular poet so much, and he is not even bothered to come and meet me. And I am burning from a lust and love. He is not even bothered to come and see. She folded her hands in front of the Bhairava and she was asking, I sold my youth for the coins and called it as a happiness. I worshipped lust and called it as a love. I gave my soul away in search of touch, the pure touch and the love and the desire. She never got it. In that moment of exultation, something weird happened. Snapping a deep, she actually felt very, very deep, distant. Her breath slowed down, and she actually, after being in so much of pain, you know that actually once someone is in a deepest pain, they will be able to cross that threshold of what we call it as sakshatkara. She immediately was furious after that deepest slow. Enough of waiting and the endless carving. The joy I seek for others, it does not live in their eyes. It is within me. She cried it, and she held the Bhairava's feet and she was crying, and that night she fainted. And how strange it was. Before this particular moment, before she was able to touch the feet of the Bhairava, she removed all her heavy ornaments one by one, and bangles, everything, ears, gold, everything. She looked at her reflection, a simple and a human. For her first time in her life, she saw herself in the reflection of the bimba, the deepa of the which was kept in front of the Bhairava. She was able to see the deepam, and in deepam she was able to see her reflection. The first time she was able to notice that her reflection in that particular deepam, not the ornament illusion, but herself in it, because she was in a pain, and that pain actually removed or made her to see this particular situation. How strange. He was smiling in that particular deepam and saying and telling, how strange, when I gave us hope, peace entered in my heart. When I stopped expecting others, the divine sweetness, I'm able to see myself. And later on, actually, she wasn't so furious, because her emotions actually were getting changed, and immediately she was able to go into a situation. She fainted. And in one point of time, there was some light which was able to pour on her. There was like a deepa stamba was able to come in front of her in the Bhairava Swarupa. She was able to sit cross-legged, eyes closed, and she just bowed in front of him. Bhairava, today I need only two things in front of me. Take my life away, or give me the real truth of this particular life. The street outside vanished from her awareness. Everything awareness, whatever she felt, got waned that day. And that particular stillness, she felt something getting into her heart. The seeds of the awakening, the cool flow of the contentment, which was actually what we call it as like Santosha. Bhairava was able to bow that particular seed of Santosha in her heart. She was able to recall one particular shloka, Nisargaya Shuktam Jivitam Asme Dukkate Ve Namaha. Without a desire, one lives in the bliss. With desire, there is only a sorrow. This is what the line she was able to recall from Bhairava Guna. She was able to know one who ever are behind the desire, one who is behind, there is something quenching for the next. She was able to find that day. Bhairava was able to clear that particular moment. She continued speaking herself. After this particular beautiful moment, her own soul started speaking to herself like, I waited for a man to give me my joy with fooling with the golds, but Bhairava, who dwell in every heart, Kala Tita, everyone in this particular Mrityuloka are governed, supported, and nurtured only by Kala Tita. The heart was waiting for me to turn within, and today, oh Bhairava, oh Deva, this is a divine. Bhairava was able to let her wander into illusion of until she was actually ready for the truth to know about it. She folded her hands towards the small altar of Bhairava, and she was able to know, yes, the Shakshatkara. She was able to witness the Shakshatkara of the Bhairava in her life. She was able to know that tonight I have found the greatest lover, the Atman, the true Atmalinga, whatever we call it as Bhairava Swarupa, the Nitya Bhairava Swarupa. He is always into that silence, not always in the furious state. As what we have spoken in the last video, he is that in that particular Sukshma Swarupa, which is the silence. The self that never leaves, never dies, never fades. That is a pure Linga Bhairava, what we call it as. The Atman, the Paramatman, the Mahaparamatma. She was able to know that this is what it is. After all this Sakshatkara went into her, on the next day, she was, the morning actually, the nights, she was able to enter into the chamber. That was a beautiful morning for her. The same city awakened with a noise. Chats was going on, carts were going around, people were talking, normal business activities was going on in the Maithili city and the calls, but Pingala, the word had changed. The Pingala's world, complete perception of world had been changed. She got up. She was no more the same, what we call it as a courtesan that day. She was able to recognize herself. She was able to know herself, what she was. She was able to know what exactly made her, what Shakshatkara of Bhairava was able to tell her, and how exactly she was able to know her true essence. She dressed, actually, that day she got up. She took a dress, a simple with a white cloth, directly went to the Ganges, took the bath, left her all ornaments in the bank of the Ganges. After taking bath, there with a tear of joy, she bathed and sat beneath the banyan tree, because she had got the Shakshatkara of the Bhairava herself. The true connection is Bhairava himself, not the lust, not for a person. She dressed simple with a white cloth on that day, left the ornaments, everything, and when all this happened, villagers, whoever passed on that particular lane, could not even recognize her. They thought that actually she is someone actually who is a great sadhaki or a guruma who has come there and sat. And they used to bow in front of her, and everyone used to go there. The courtesan had vanished. A sage was sitting in that particular place. She had got Shakshatkara, and she was the purest form of her life. She had become a sage. Her eyes was glowing with a peace. The lips was whispering, Om Bhairavaya Namah, Om Bhairavaya Namah, Om Bhairavaya Namah. She was able to sing this particular thing. And the days were passing. And one day, the same monk, the same Brahmin, he was able to witness her. Acharya, he was an Acharya. The Brahmin was an Acharya. At that time, actually, Brahmins used to be called as an Acharya because they used to be like a most knowledgeable people. If you recall, on the first moment, when Acharya came into her court, she was able to bow down to his leg and tell, Gurudeva, please tell me in case if I need to do any kind of favor for you, why you have come all the way from there to it. He was burning with that lust. Till dated, he was haunting, he was worrying that actually how I can get the 100 mudras to grab or to complete his lust towards that Pingala. Acharya was able to witness her. He like met her after the transformation because she was not the same Pingala that night or that particular day when he met, that she was not the same Pingala. Acharya was able to see her very closely and he was able to ask, you were once you are Pingala, right? Like what awakened? How exactly you are here? Immediately she was able to tell the truth, whatever happened that day. Like she was in the lust of a person, desire of a person, waiting for him that he is to come one day. Who she was waiting for the flowers and the words what he is going to speak and what the metals he used to give, she was waiting for him. But she never thought that actually no one truly waited for her love, true love. The desire burnt me a day after the day. Acharya, she was able to tell. When I stopped feeding that particular fire, it dead by itself. And that day she was able to get the Sakshatkara of the Bhairava himself, and that particular search of a true love in the bodies she used to find was completely dissolved. But found the bliss only when I turned within. Bhairava was able to make me turn within and tell her that actually I am not being found outside, I am inside you. You need to actually go inside. Unless you turn yourself inside, you will not be able to see me in any of the bodies where you are able to find or search for a love in someone else. The person A, it may be a king, a person B, it may be like a businessman, person C, a poet. She was able to find her love, but finally when she was able to find her love in that poet, but poet was not able to find the same thing in her. This was a truth, but found a bliss only when she was able to turn within herself and make pure. That Bhairava Sakshatkara can happen only when she was able to turn within inside. Immediately, Acharya, the Brahmin, was able to get to know he was burning in a lust to acquire or quench his lust for her on that day. He promised and went. Till dated he was trying to get that money. And finally he had that 100 mudras. On that day he was on his way to the courtesan. On the way he was able to see this Pingala in a different Swarupa. Immediately he took this 100 Swarna mudras. He told, Ma, today you have opened my eyes. You opened my eyes. Then you were Pingala, but today you are my Guru because you have opened my eyes. That for you have known in one night what may fail to realize that lifetime of realization which is a truth. For that day, Acharya revealed that her as a Guru Pingala, the prostitute became a Guru on that day. He was able to tell the deepest core secret. She was able to disclose that the look or the true love is not somewhere outside. This is within, inside. When we have Bhairava, the Bhairava Linga, the Bhairava Atma, Bhairava Sakshatkara in this life, we will be able to find ourselves into the deep rooted, where we will be able to know about him in a deeper state. On that particular day, he was able to tell from that day, the Acharya called her as a guru. He being Acharya, he fell on her leg, gave that 100 Swarna Mudras, kept at her leg. माँ, आज से तू मेरी गुरु है. आज से तू मेरी गुरु है, क्योंकि तुमने मेरा साक्षात्कार किया है कि जो भी मेरा काम का परिपूर्ण करने का एक एक इच्छा थी, उसको आपने जला दिया. You burnt that particular desire of the lust which was actually burning in me. Today I was so happy that today I will be able to go to the the Pingala, who was not the same Pingala what she was now, and able to give her, throw that 100 golden mudras and experience her with complete lust. But here the episode got changed. She was not the same Pingala, the courtesan who became a teacher of the detachment, a living Upadesha she was able to teach to everyone around her and especially to the Acharya. The Acharya bowed down and he felt, told, Aaj se tu meri Guru Ma hai. He realized in the summarizing her few, what we call it as like immortal lessons, he was able to understand this particular 4 lessons in his life. Like Asha, whatever we call it as Asa, the desire is the root of the sorrow. The Guruma, the Pingala, the prostitute being that previous prostitute, now being a Guruma, was able to tell these are the 4 things which are the root of this lust or this desire of every human life. Asha is the root of the sorrow, the desire. It is not the, when hope dies, peace rises. Asha may be desire, even the hope. We have a hope, like actually he's going to come one day, or he's going to be, you know that actually when a person is in a deepest love or a deepest lust, they always think, they always have a low hope that tomorrow will be something good. Not today, tomorrow will be something good. Tomorrow is going to be, he is going to come to me. Tomorrow I'm going to enjoy the same minute of that beautiful moments as what they think has gone in their particular past situation of the life. They are going to leave the same situation again and again and again and again. The hope, Asha. Asha being the root of the sorrow. This was what she was able to say. The Guruma, the prostitute previously, now being a Guruma, was able to tell this to the Acharya that one who have a Asha, when hope dies, the peace rises within. The second, she was able to tell, the desire binds, contentment liberates. Like the moment you accept, I have enough, your chains are dissolved. You always want to acquire something, experience something which has already gone. You want to experience same again and again. Desire of binds. I need to do this, I need to do that. When a kamuka, when a lustful person, a male or a female, is binded in that particular situation, they have a complete desire in their heart. They have a desire of doing everything, anything, and they forget everyone around them and they want their desire to be completed. The desire is actually a binds. It is binding a person, and she was able to tell, once the desire dissolves, the contentment liberates. The third Upadesha she was able to give, God waits inside us. Bhairava is not outside. The time is what we see. As we see, the time outside is actually the time within ourselves, not the outside. You know that actually, even in the science, this has been called, when a particular object moves from one place to other place, when there is a motion, we know from point A to point B, when there is a motion, we will be able to see the object. Similarly, when the object goes very quick, fast, if it is like, let's consider this as a 10 kilometers per the speed. Similarly, if it goes like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, the object from A to B, B to A, A to B, B to A, This is like what we call it as the outside world. We are able to see. Once these particular movements become very fast, trust me, you will not be able to see anything. For example, you see that actually this we are witnessing in our own space. Just sit below the fan. You will be able to see the fan. When it is switched off, you will be able to see all the wings of the fan. Similarly, when the fan is on, you will still be able to see and we will be able to count the wings of the fan. Once the power or the regulator or the speed of the fan is being moved into the highest level, the consciousness of your thoughts is being the desire, you are binding, contentment liberates. Similarly, when you are fastening your thought process, automatically you will not be able to see the, the wings of the fan. It is somewhat like just one particular wing or just nothing. You will not be able to see anything, just a middle part. Similarly, you will not be able to see the object A to B or B to A. It is dissolved. This is what actually she was able to witness at that particular minute, and she was able to tell, we as a humans always are waiting for the outsiders to come to me and make me feel love, make me my desire fulfilled. So Paramatma is not outside. We are searching outside of Paramatma by doing all those activities. But finally, the eternal love is flittering. Inner love is the eternal. External love is actually flittering. Inner love is what actually eternal. She was able to tell this is very beautifully that the more you go inside, the more you will be able to do a sakshatkar of the Kala. She was able to clearly convey to the Acharya that your love is not in a person but within yourself. It is not a selfish love. It is actually finding your purest form of your essence, your Atman, your own core being, where we have come here not because of someone or to be for someone, because for our own self, to know the real true life, the requirement or the essence, what we need to know as the freshness, as the flittering eternal love. What we are waiting is not outside, it is always within, inside. The love is eternal. And Bhairava, as we all know, we are trying to find him outside, doing all the types of aradhana, point A to point B, trying to move around to the temple to temple, thinking that actually only on Ashtami will be able to get his sakshatkara, or thinking that I am able to do some puja, aradhana, nama japa, and finally I am able to get him into it. Once you have him in your life completely as your breath, he will be able to open up into the different dimensions, and he will be able to show us that yes, I am not outside, I am within you, and that within you I will be able to show you where, how, and within every being I am. Every person, the lust will get changed into the love, and you will be able to feel, and you will be able to surrender to the every being around you. And you will be able to bow down to that particular daiva which you are able to see in one's particular self. Third is very, very important. This particular sakshatkara which the prostitute Pingala was able to teach as a guruma, she was able to convert herself, or she was able to get the sakshatkara of Bhairava himself, was able to teach God waiting inside you. He is not outside. Even if you find this true, many lifetimes you will not be able to find. The fourth, she was able to tell what we call it as renewation is not a deprivation. It is like, I can call it like, it is the joyous discovery that nothing external can add to this particular life to make it complete. Someone coming in my life, I will be complete. Something, object coming into my life, I'll be completing. If I'm going to complete this, I'll be able to complete my life as a fulfillment. See, renunciation is not a deprivation. Renunciation can be actually leaving something. It doesn't mean that actually you are in a deprivation. What we need to understand is joy is not an object. Joy is in what we do, the process. Happiness is not the destination. Happiness is the process to the destination. Here, she was able to disclose the Bhairava essence, the timeless state, the Kalatita's truest form, that she was able to know herself at that minute. The Bhairava Tantra, what we call it as, she was able to disclose whatever we have heard, learnt about the true meaning of this particular existence. The Pingala realized that the represent of the, what we call it as, Kamadhana. Kamadhana is killing your lust, the burning of the desire by awakening it. Lust, if you burn the lust will become the awakening. The desire by awakening will be able to grow. This is the only key. Many people come and ask, I have a lot of lust. Whenever I sit for the puja aradhana, I'll be able to see many of the things. I always tell them to please witness this. Unless you witness this someplace, you complete this, you will not be able to go to the next stage. Once you start something, stopping or trying to reject it, it will come again and again and again. It is somewhat like throwing a ball to the wall. Once you stop throwing, doesn't mean that actually it is not going to bounce back, because you have already thrown. It is going to bounce back to you. Similarly, when the lust is there, when you throw, it is going to come back to you. But the throwing should be not on the wall, to the ground, to actually far away from you, burning that particular desire, where you will be aware, awareness can be raised, and that awareness can make you clear what exactly we have come for this particular life to experience that. At that minute, what I see, this particular story will always make me a prostitute becoming a particular becoming a Guru Mata, how a beautiful it is. Like she is like a Kali, awakening within the mortal woman. She is able to, the Perseus, detachment, blissful. All these three stages, she was able to experience it. She is none other than Kalima. See, this is the reason I always tell, when we are a Bhairava Aradhaka, we need to know one thing. Once we are in a situation, whether it is a love, desire, lust, or whatever it may be, bow down to it. Bow down to it, because that is none other than Shakti in front of you. The Shiva in front of you, which is making you to experience this. And this is not going to last forever life in your life. Only in that minute. Bow down to that Shakti. And that Shakti is going to make you clear that I am here to make you aware. The awareness should be activated. The awareness should be so sharpened, so deeply, that actually you need to know, this minute I am not going to experience this. I am going to be completely into this. The burning yourself into that particular situation to make shakshatkara of that moment, the desire will become the awareness. Whenever, as a Bhairava Sadhaka, whenever we are in any of the stages, bow down to that particular situation. Bow down to the particular person in front of you, thinking that maybe Bhairava has come in that particular Swarupa. I don't know. That particular person tomorrow may be like a Pingala. She may be getting activated, her Kali Tattva in her. And that Kali Tattva make everyone to bow in front of her. Anything may happen. So always, as her, what we call it is like her weight is a symbol of every seeker. What we call it as longing, yearning for the union within the divine is what the ultimate we have come here as an humans. We may talk about all the things in this world, thinking that actually I find my guru only where the place actually people do a satsanga, or people who talk about the diksha, who talk about the bhajana, who talk about the particular mantra shloka. No, even the, as I told you, the Guru Tattva is not somewhere, even in the uh, what we see in this particular episode. Even the prostitute, she became a ma, because she was able to know her purest essence, that actually her desire was burnt. She took her body to the enlightenment. The weight in the symbol in every seeker, what we need to think is the union with not the external, the union within inside. This can only happen to the Bhairava sadhakas, because Bhairava is here to burn you. I always tell, sadhana is not going to make you comfort, it is going to burn you. It is going to burn everything around you. It is going to be make you much more aware, much more realize that whatever your life you are thinking that this is what my destiny is there, it is going to burn. It is going to tell you that no, this is not. No, this is not. You are going to be sharpened much more better to make yourself offering to him, such that you will be able to experience him much better. See, when worldly weight ends, Bhairava Darshana begins. This is what always is being told. Even Ma Pingala, here she is no more a prostitute. She is a Ma herself. She is a Kali Swarupini. Bowing down to her, Ma Kali herself is telling that when the worldly waiting ends, Bhairava Darshana will happen, because he is the first person to make you aware why you have come for. The entire encounter within the inner self will happen to not only to her, to everyone. Everyone, knowingly, without knowingly or unknowingly, maybe the different situation, different people, different space, different atmosphere may happen, but everyone have something called as an inner space. The inner awareness need to be aware that why my existence is here, so I will be able to know the Shakshatkar of the Bhairava Swarupa Guna, how the darshan of him can be achieved by knowing this true self. Not with a person. Once the particular desire, the lust, when I burn it, I'll be able to see him. Surrendering to that particular desire, bowing down to that particular tattva, guna, is what is going to make you the pure awareness. You are putting ahuti of your desire into that yagna. That kama yagna, whatever we call it as kama yagna, you are putting your desire into that, such that actually the shakshatkara of the Bhairava can happen in that particular situation. See, there is a beautiful mantra which is there in this particular Rudramalaya Tantra. In Rudrayamala Tantra, there is something called as Bhairava Namo Tattvanama Tattvam Sarvam Tattvanam. Bhairava is a tattva, the essence of all the tattvas surrounding us.